Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. A chance to play at Wembley is at stake for both Blackpool and Peterborough tonight, as we have the Bristol Street Motors semi-final. The venue is Bloomfield Road, and it is a place where Blackpool have won 10 of their 17 league games this season. In this competition, the home side have won every single game, including all three group stage games. The most recent test was last season's winners Bolton, where it took penalties for Blackpool to proceed through to this semi-final. For Peterborough, they have only lost once in this competition so far, which was the first group game to League 2 Colchester, but a 3-1 victory in the quarter-finals to Wimbledon have put them in with the chance of reaching the final of the competition for the first time since they won the trophy back in 2014. These two sides last met on Saturday. The first meeting of the season was a 4-2 win to Peterborough at Blackpool, but the home side tonight got their revenge at the weekend, winning the game 2-1 in the 91st minute through a deflected Karamoko Dembele strike. This is the 52nd game between the two, and it is Peterborough with the most wins with 22, but only picking up 3 in the last 11 against tonight's opposition. So, for a chance to reach the EFL final, the EFL Trophy final to take on Bradford or Wycombe, will it be Blackpool or Peterborough to come out on top? Blackpool are 2 times winners. They won their 2 trophies in quite similar times. The first one was in 2002, and then they won it again in 2004. For Peterborough, they've won this competition once under manager Darren Ferguson. He's in his 4th spell at the club at the moment, and he did win the trophy with Peterborough back in 2014, winning against Chesterfield by 3-1. Their last semi-final defeat in this competition was against Colchester, it was 3-2 on aggregate, but these semi-finals for this season anyway is just one game. They used to be under 2 games, but now it's just the one game to see who goes through to Wembley, to see who takes on either Bradford or Wycombe in the EFL Trophy final. Last season it was called the Papa John's Trophy. It's now called the Bristol Street Motors Trophy, but I think it sounds better as the EFL Trophy. And it's a distraction for both. I just find it really strange how these two sides literally met and played each other Saturday just gone. The way it's fell in terms of the schedule is I don't know I don't know if it's a bonus or if it's a positive or a negative for the two teams, because I mean, for Peterborough it might help them more because there'll be more of a revenge factor for it. Peterborough will want to get their revenge, and I think the fact as well for Peterborough, they come here at the start of this season. It was at the end of October, and they beat Blackpool here by 4-2. So it's just strange how it's worked out, how they're playing each other again, literally 4 days after they last played each other. But it was a pretty close game. It was 1-1 until the 91st minute, where Karamoko Dembele scored for Blackpool in the 91st minute to give Blackpool an away win, which lifted them up to 8th. They're 6 points behind Peterborough, who are in 5th on 56 points, but Peterborough do have a game in hand on Blackpool, so it is getting very close and tight around those playoff places. And for Peterborough, they are in a bit of a rot of form at the moment. 4 straight defeats at the moment in League 1, and they are losing those 4 games with an aggregate score of 6-12, so they are struggling at the moment. They are without a win in their last 5 in the league. Their last win was in the quarterfinals of this competition, where they beat Wimbledon at home 3-1, a goal from Mothersill and Ephron Mason Clark and Ricky Jade Jones with the 3 goals for Peterborough. So they aren't in great form in the league at the moment, so this could be a fantastic distraction for them to try and get themselves back on form and just give themselves something else to aim for, a trip to Wembley once again. It was Peterborough's first ever piece of major silverware, this trophy that they won back in 2014. There was 35,000 people in attendance, and it does a trophy that means a lot for this club. And for Blackpool, they'll want to win it for a 3rd time, a first in 20 years. But it is going to be a tight game between these two. Blackpool did defeat the reigning champions Bolton in the quarterfinals. It was 0-0, but they won 5-4 on penalties. 2 Blackpool players did miss penalties. Jordan Lawrence Gabriel did miss, and Oliver Norburn, but it wasn't to matter as they still went through anyway, 5-4 on penalties. But I think this is just a great tournament and a competition for those teams who very rarely reach Wembley, who won't experience that day out a lot following their football team, if ever. Some clubs aren't lucky enough to ever reach Wembley. But I think if you asked both of these teams what would you rather do, win this competition or get into the playoffs, they'd probably pick getting into the playoffs. But that still doesn't mean that there's no silverware on the line. It is another trophy to win, and when you're Peterborough and you've only won one major trophy before, and it is this one, you wouldn't really say no to winning a second, and just trying to build up your trophy cabinet ever so slightly, because that's what it's about at the end of the day. Football is about winning these trophies, and that's what fans want at the end of the day. It's all good getting promotions through playoffs and the rest of it in automatic spots, but you want to be lifting trophies, you want to be having those special days, and this is an opportunity for both. We'll go through both teams now, as you can see them on screen. And for Blackpool, is their second choice goalkeeper. He's played every minute so far in this competition, and that is Richard O'Donnell. Back three of Callum Connolly, who's not played any minutes in the last 6 in the league. He'll play alongside Marvin Epiteta and James Husband. Two wing backs. On the right is going to be Jordan Lawrence Gabriel. On the left is going to be Hayden Coulson on loan from Middlesbrough till the end of the season. And then 3 midfield of Matty Virtue, who scored once in this competition, and that was in the last 16 against Burton. Alongside him is going to be Oliver Norburn, who joined in the summer from Peterborough. He spent 2 years at the club, making 56 appearances and not scoring for the Posh, and he'll play alongside Albie Morgan in that 3 in midfield. He has got 1 goal already in this competition, and that came against Liverpool's under-21s. And then 2 up front leading the line, it's going to be number 9, Kyle Joseph, who's yet to score in this competition, and he was missing for the quarter-final against Bolton, but he'll be playing alongside Jake Beasley, who has got 4 goals in the league and 3 in this competition, 2 of them up against Morecambe in the group stages. For Peterborough, Jed Stay in goal. He was signed as a free agent in January after leaving Aston Villa in the summer. He'll have a back 4 in front of him of Jadel Cantongo, Josh Knight, Ronnie Edwards and Captain Harrison Burrows. 2 holding midfielders is going to be Jean-Do Fuchs, who comes back into the lineup. He has started all the last 5 EFL Trophy games now, and he'll play alongside 24-year-old Archie Collins, who was signed for just under £1 million from Exeter in the summer. 3 behind the striker. On the right is going to be Kwame Poku. On the left is going to be Ethron Mason Clark, who was sold in the summer for £4.25 million to Coventry, but was loaned back to Peterborough for the rest of the season. And in the attacking midfield role is going to be Joe Randall, who's got no goals in 4 appearances in this competition. And leading the line up front is going to be Malik Mothersill, joined in the summer on a free from Chelsea. He scored last season against Peterborough. And will he be able to score against them once again? And for Peterborough, it's just the 2 changes from their team that were beaten against Blackpool at the weekend. For Blackpool, they've made 4 changes. So it has had a number of changes between this fixture and the one that was played on Saturday, but such a small distance of time between these 2 sides playing each other. But at least we've got the difference of one being at one ground and one at the other. So it's Peterborough this time to travel up to Blackpool to try and bring home the 3 points, the win to get through to the final. If you are new, if you could like and subscribe, that'd be absolutely fantastic, as we're about to get underway here at Bloomfield Road. Just the 1 leg, no 2 legs in this one. The winner will be decided tonight between Blackpool and Peterborough. Both sides looking to get to a final. They've both won this competition. Blackpool have won it twice. Last time was 20 years ago in 2004, beating Sheffield Wednesday in the semi-final. And for Peterborough, they last won it 10 years ago under their current manager of Darren Ferguson, who's here in his 4th spell at the club. I found that absolutely incredible. 4th spell for Darren Ferguson at Peterborough. He has done a fantastic job. This is game 587 for Darren Ferguson at Peterborough. So many spells. His first was in 2008 to 2009 as a player coach. His most recent return was at the start of last year in January 2023, where he could place them into the playoff spots. They got into 6th place, but somehow fell to that very, very heartbreaking defeat to Sheffield Wednesday in the playoffs. Winning 4-0 in that first leg, then 5-1 in the second, and losing out on penalties by 5 goals to 4. As we are about to get underway here, it'll be Blackpool to kick off, kicking left to right, Peterborough right to left here at Bloomfield Road for a chance to play at Wembley in the EFL Trophy final. Which side will come out on top? The kick-off is played back to the Blackpool goalkeeper of Richard O'Donnell, who sends it forward high down towards the Blackpool right-hand side. Flicked on and cleared on the edge of the box. That was a good flick on there by Blackpool's number 18 there of Jake Beasley. And it's in the air. It needs to be dealt with. Fuchs misses it for Peterborough. Nodded down here for Beasley. Out to the right here to Lawrence Gabriel. Good start here for Blackpool in the final third. Can he work across into the box? He can towards the near post. And it has to be headed behind there by Ronnie Edwards. That was a fierce cross from Lawrence Gabriel, and it had to be dealt with by the 20-year-old centre-back. That's something I found in common in this Peterborough side. So many young players. The average age of the squad is 22, which shows you how young this Peterborough side is. So to be doing so well in the league in 5th place and also into this semi-final with the lack of experience in the side, it's really impressive as the corner goes in. Swung at it, drops to the edge of the box, where the shot comes in, and it's blocked off the header. Comes back out to the right here to Albie Morgan for Blackpool. He's got options behind him, so has to go back towards the halfway line here to Lawrence Gabriel. Goes to his left here to Coulson at left wing back. Chips it in behind, looking for the run of Joseph. It's Edwards to nod it down towards right back Katongo, who goes down over the challenge of Kyle Joseph. And right near the corner flag, that will be a free kick for Peterborough. He can do a lot of running. Kyle Joseph at the age of 22, brought in the summer from Swansea. He's got 2 goals so far this season in all competitions, 1 in the league all the way back in November. But it is Blackpool who have put Peterborough under the early pressure at the moment. As it is Peterborough to play out from the back in their own box here. It's Katongo at right back. Here into Josh Knight. Back to Katongo again. Knight in the box, being closed down here. Gets it to his goalkeeper steer, then across the box to Edwards. It's now with the left back of Burrows. Down the left-hand side it goes. It's a short ball towards Mason Clark. Played forward for Blackpool, and it deflects through here for a ball in the box by Beasley. Second try at it. Deflects back towards him. Outside the area. Dealt with by Burrows. It's now with Mason Clark. Driving inside. Midway side his own half. Goes for a huge switch out to the opposite side to Poku. Headed away there by Husband. Straight to Randall. And it's now with Poku on the right for Peterborough. First opportunity for the away side to actually get into the Blackpool half. It's Fuchs. Across to Collins. It's now with Burrows at left back. Outside the area. He's going to go for an early strike. It's blocked there by Connolly. And it'll roll out for a Peterborough throw-in. Midway inside the Blackpool half. But Harrison Burrows, captain in the side at the age of 22. He's been at the club since 2008. Born in Peterborough, so he'll know exactly what this means to the club and the fans. As it is midway side the Peterborough half, it's with number 4 Ronnie Edwards, who spent 7 years at Barnet before leaving to join Peterborough in 2020. Now only at the age of 20 himself. As they play out to the right towards Poku. Gets beyond Coulson for Blackpool. Here is Poku, one-on-one here with Norburn, the former Peterborough man. Poku plays across to the left here to Burrows. It's outside the area, plays it through into the box here to Mason Clark, who will keep that in, but he'll lose balance and fall out of the pitch, going over the advertisement boards, and it can be Blackpool to clear it towards Joseph. Loses out to Fuchs, keeps it away from the Blackpool players, and then Randall goes back here to Collins, and it's Peterborough now in the last minute or so to start with the ball as Mason Clark plays it through for Burrows towards the byline. Has it been overhit? It has been. It just goes out for goal kick before the cross could be made, and it's Blackpool now to have the goal kick. I'd say the first 2 minutes went to Blackpool, and the last 2 minutes have gone to Peterborough. Both sides showing that they can get forward here and try and threat the opposition goal. But just the 3 changes as well for Peterborough from their quarter-final starting 11 against Wimbledon. Change of goalkeepers. Jed Steers in for this one for his 6th appearance for the club. As the ball goes long into the Peterborough half, headed away by Fuchs for the away side. Headed back forward by Husband. Can it be flicked on for Blackpool by Beasley? It'll drop to Burrows, the Peterborough left-back, who turns towards his own goal and plays it here to Ronnie Edwards on the edge of his 18-yard box. It's now still with the left-back, Burrows, into Ronnie Edwards once again. And England under-20 internationals made 12 appearances for that level of England. Appearances have come from September 2022 all the way through to November of last year. Still on the ball here, Edwards, just waiting for the right time to play the ball. He'll go across to his right centre-back of Josh Knight, and out to Katongo at right-back. He's going in towards his own goal here. Good pressing from Blackpool. Finds Edwards, who gets away from the slide challenge there of Beasley. That is very calm defending from Ronnie Edwards, because if that went wrong, then that would have been a huge chance for Blackpool to attack. And already early on, you can see how Peterborough like to play. They want to keep the ball, even if it's a risky way of playing, as the ball's gone over the top and in behind down the left for Randall. And it's hard to play for a goal kick. We're battling there with Lawrence Gabriel, the right wing back for Blackpool. And headed it forward towards the byline, but was knocked over by the Blackpool wing back. Bit of shoulder to shoulder, really. Nothing much in it, and the ball could be seen behind there for Blackpool for a goal kick. I think that'll be a decent little battle down there, with the likes of Joe Randall, Kwame Poku, and Etheron Mason-Clark, that kind of 3 behind the striker for Peterborough. 3 very talented footballers. As the goal kick from O'Donnell's taken for Blackpool, deep into the Peterborough half, flicked on in behind here for Blackpool. It has to be headed away by Burrows on the edge of the box, and the touch out wide there is gone loose, and it's gone for a Peterborough free kick there. Archie Collins went down over the challenge of Matty Virtue. Seemed a bit soft to me, that. Don't think there was much in it. I think he's looked for that foul there, Archie Collins, because his touch wasn't great. It went straight out of play. But it'll be a Peterborough free kick. They've already worked it to the opposite side to the right here to Katongo. Finds Mothersill up front. Tackled by Epiteta. And it'll be a throw in for Peterborough on the far side. On the halfway line with Jadel Katongo. Brought in on loan from Manchester City in the summer. Making his 26th appearance for the club. Did score in this competition, his only goal of the season against Cambridge in the group stages. It's in the 18-yard box for Peterborough with Edwards across the goalkeeper of Steer. Forward for Collins, lays it back off here to Edwards. It's now out to Mason-Clark in the left wing, midway side his own half. Goes back to the edge of his box here to Collins. It's now with Burrows again. It's heavy possession play here from Peterborough. Across the goal from Edwards to Knight. He'll bring it forward outside of his box. Looking for the pass, finds Katongo. Inside here to Mason-Clark, to Poku, and then goes across to Collins. When it works, it looks really good from Peterborough, and they've worked themselves into the Blackpool half here. Forward towards Mason-Clark, short ball. Big challenge from Lawrence Gabriel. It's a fair one, and there's a throw in for Peterborough. It's Archie Collins. Lifts the ball out to the left-hand side, trying to find Mason-Clark in behind. Cut out and cleared here. Forward for Blackpool. It'll be Beasley to chase it, but Edwards can work it back to the goalkeeper Steer. And it's Peterborough back in possession in their own half with Josh Knight, born in Leicester. Spent 7 years in their academy. Lifelong Leicester fan. But he joined Peterborough back in July 2021. Now at the age of 26, one of the more experienced players in this Peterborough side. And they've worked it to their attacking midfielder of Randall. Finding Kwame Poku on that far side. Gets away from Coulson. He's got Katongo overlapping. And he'll find him in the box here. He goes for the cross, which deflects off James Husband. And that'll be a corner for the away side. It's been a lively start from both teams. It's an enjoyable watch so far. As Peterborough love to take their risks when playing out from the back. And so far, they haven't been caught out yet. And they've worked it out really nicely to the right-hand side. And that's what the link-up will be. That's the link-up that will be needed in this game between the winger and full-back for Peterborough on both sides, with Katongo and Poku on the right, and Mason-Clark and Burrows on the left. But it's Peterborough with an early set piece. Blackpool got one in the first minute or so. It's Peterborough now to have their turn.
as it goes short and then play back out to the taker, and it goes out to the far post here. Header won there by Knight. It falls to him. He wants to shoot. It's blocked by Husband and cleared by Epiteta. Thrown for Peterborough on the near side in the final third. It was played short and then delivered in by Burrows, who's got the second most amount of assists in League One with 10 already this season. And he put it to the far post and it dropped to Josh Knight, who was able to shoot, and it was blocked and cleared. Mason Clark on the edge of the area, across to Randall, surrounded by orange shirts, and he's dispossessed, and Blackpool will try and break here. Morgan, short ball, cut out on the halfway line by Katongo. Not good enough there from Albie Morgan, and it's Peterborough to keep the possession now in the Blackpool half. It's with Kwame Poku, who was signed 2.5 years ago now from Colchester. He's got the 8 goals so far this season, Poku. 2 behind Mason Clark, who is Peterborough's leading scorer in the league this season. And here he is on the ball on the halfway line, playing it back into the number 4 of Ronnie Edwards. Now out to the right, it's to Katongo, exactly on halfway. Goes back here to Knight, being pressed by Blackpool. It's good pressing from the home side. It's with Jed Steer now, the goalkeeper. Just about shifts it back out to the right here to Josh Knight, who will bring it forward. Midway side, his own half on the far side. Ball goes forward, then played back to Fuchs. Keeps it moving to the left to Collins. It's really good football from Peterborough. It's attractive and it's working so far. Burrows marauding forward from left back. Forward to Mason Clark. Touch isn't great, but he keeps it away from Virtue. It's now Mason Clark driving forward. Wants the 1-2 of Randall. Misplaced pass from the midfielder. Can't find Mason Clark on the return. And Blackpool try and go forward, but again it's given away. And it's Peterborough to keep hold of the possession inside the opposition half here. On this near side with left back Harrison Burrows. Waiting for a bit of movement. But he goes back to the halfway line here to Ronnie Edwards. It's now with the number 4. Looking for a switch out. Towards the right, it's a low ball to the right back of Katongo. It's now Kwame Poku, midway side the Blackpool half on the far side. 1-on-1 with Coulson. Playing a ball forward into the box. The flag stays down here. Turn from Mothersill. It deflects to Randall on the edge. He's going to strike the ball and it's blocked. And it will be kept in and cleared for a throw-in, or has that gone for a corner? Not too sure, but that's the first real big chance of the game, and it fell to Peterborough. The flag stayed down on the far side, and they have avoided the corner, and it will be a throw-in. It's a good ball through from Mothersill by Poku, and it deflected to the edge of the box to Randall, who decided to go for goal. But that was also blocked, and away it went for a corner, but it was avoided, and the throw-in was conceded instead. After a good first few minutes for Blackpool, the first 2 minutes I'd say, since then the last 10 minutes has been all Peterborough in possession, and they're playing it really delicately out from defence. And you do feel like if an error is made, then Blackpool could pounce, but at the moment Peterborough look calm in possession, and it doesn't look like they're making this game too emotional, which is good, because when you lose a game against an opposition, then you play them 4 days later, like today, then you almost have that desire and that drive to want to beat them and try and get an early goal to almost assert your dominance and tell the opposition that you're not going to beat them this time. But Peterborough are playing calmly, but they have given away the ball on the halfway line. It's now with Norburn, the captain, formerly of Peterborough. Decides to relax the possession and go back to the central centre-half in that back 3 of Marvin Epiteta. It's now Connolly, right-footed ball forward. Can't be brought down by Joseph. Loses out to Fuchs. And then it's cleared away by Coulson for Blackpool. It's out to the right-hand side here where it's allowed to bounce on the edge of the box. And it's Beasley to go over the challenger, Burrows. And it's one back here for Blackpool. Not fairly, says the referee. Another foul given against Matty Virtue. Not the first one. And I think both have been pretty soft. The ball was allowed to bounce by Burrows. And Virtue went in. Beasley went in. He fell over the challenge. And then Virtue wanted to try and win the ball back. And a little shove. And it's seen as enough to give a free kick. Just think that's a bit soft from tonight's referee, Lewis Smith, who's only 30 years old, and he made his Premier League debut at the weekend as a referee in the 2-1 Aston Villa win away at Craven Cottage. So Peterborough getting away with 2 free kicks there on the edge of the box as well. So it's left Blackpool rather frustrated as Katongo gets beyond one Blackpool player and it's tripped, and it'll be a free kick for the away side. Won by Jadel Katongo, who featured for Manchester City's under-21s and under-18s last season. Reached the FA Youth Cup semi-final with the under-18s, and he currently plays for England's under-20s alongside Peterborough's Ronnie Edwards. It's 14 minutes in. Peterborough have had the majority of the possession, have looked the better side, but Blackpool have had glimpses of hope of their own. It's in the left-back position now for Peterborough with Burrows. Did score when these two sides last met here at Bloomfield Road. It was a 4-2 Peterborough win. And the left-back Burrows made it 2-0 to Peterborough. Now with the goalkeeper Jed Steer in the 6-yard box. Goes out to the right here to Knight. Being closed down by Morgan. Clears it long. First time we've seen that for a while for Peterborough. Headed forward by Epiteta. Picked up by Collins here for Peterborough. Who's just drifted out to the right-hand side. Plays it into the path of Poku. Who keeps the ball in and again gets away from Coulson. I think the second time he's done that. Coulson trying to recover. Poku goes down over the challenge. Nothing given this time by the referee. I thought Coulson had just caught him from behind, but nothing given from the referee. And as Husband tries to clear, it deflects off the Peterborough player, then back off Husband for a Peterborough throw in the final third on the far side. Kwame Poku wanted the free kick, got beyond Coulson, then he chased him down, Blackpool's number 15, and it looked like he may have just caught him from behind, but let's have a look. Did they touch? Maybe, as Poku's leg goes up behind him to complete the running motion. He did just catch the knee of Coulson, but nothing was given by the referee. Still 0-0 here. It's a ball that's misplaced by Randall in the Blackpool half, and the home side can try and bring this forward with Husband. Runs into traffic of Katongo, too aggressive on the challenge, and that'll be a Blackpool free kick midway side their own half. But for Blackpool, it's been pretty patchy run of form. 5 wins in their last 10 in all competitions, but in this competition in the EFL Trophy, they've been nothing short of perfect. They've won every single game so far, having to beat Barnsley, Burton and Bolton at home in the knockout stages to get to this point. As the long ball's played forward, it deflects out to the right here to Lawrence Gabriel towards the byline. Can he work the cross in? He gets tripped, does he? By Mason Clark. Nothing given. Goal kick for Peterborough. Those Blackpool supporters behind the goal are getting more frustrated because that's 3 decisions now that have gone against them. 2 free kicks going against them and then that one not given to them. It was the left winger Mason Clark getting back for Peterborough. Looks like he may have caught the Blackpool right wing back, but nothing was given. And it's Peterborough to play out from the back with their right back of Katongo. Lifted ball down the line, goes over the head there of Mason Clark, and it's dealt with Blackpool. Trying to get the ball forward, deflects to Poku. Last touch off Coulson, and that'll be a Peterborough throw-in just inside their own half on the far side. Because it is a rut at the moment for Peterborough. 4 defeats in a row in the league. And before those 4 losses in a row, they were unbeaten in the 12 before that in the league with 8 wins and 4 draws. So it's not like they've been struggling for a while. This is just a recent blip that they need to try and get out of. As they've got the ball here with Randall, the centre attacking midfielder, out to the left of Mason Clark. Enters the box, or he tries to, but the ball gets caught under his feet. But he eventually works it to the edge of the box here to Collins. Back out to the left here to Mason Clark. 1-on-1 with Lawrence Gabriel. Onto his right foot, then onto his left. Across to the wide byline. Gets the cross in. It's fumble at the far post. Poku with the shot. Saved by the goalkeeper. Fuchs with the strike. And it's hit the side netting. John Doe Fuchs looks in disbelief as he's not won the corner. Mason Clark down that left. Working the cross, and it was not dealt with very well by the goalkeeper, Richard O'Donnell, who parried the ball. Poku had the first shot. That was blocked by Coulson. And then he had a second attempt, which was blocked by Epiteta. And it fell for Fuchs. He slammed it towards goal, and that took a nick. That's got to be a corner, surely. Well, it's not been given. I can't believe that's not been given. The Jean Doe Fuchs strike was 100% deflected. It was almost going towards goal. That would have been some shot to save from 6 yards out. And Peterborough are unfortunate they've not been given a corner there. Goal kick given, and Richard O'Donnell's got away with that because that parry from the cross, he should have caught it very easily. He didn't have much pace to it. It was more of a floater from Mason Clark. And they might try and look to test the goalkeeper more. He might be nervous, the Blackpool number 2. I mean, I know he's number 1, but he's number 2 in the squad. He's usually on the bench. It's normally Daniel Grimshaw, the former Manchester City goalkeeper who starts for Blackpool. But this has been his competition, Richard O'Donnell, who was joined in the summer from Rochdale. after they were relegated last season from League 2. Josh Knight for Peterborough in the 18-yard box, plays it to Katongo at right back. Ball forward, it's a high one, it's down the right channel, it runs out of pitch, and it'll be a throw for Blackpool on the far side. Still 0-0 here, though, just under 20 minutes in. The first goal of the game between these two on Saturday was a Peterborough goal. It made it 1-0, and it was a goal from Hector Kyprianou, the Cyprian midfielder. And it was Blackpool to come back from behind to nick the 3 points away at the Posh. Now thrown for Peterborough in a right-back position. Poku finds Katongo. Coulson is nutmegged, and it finds Poku. Then back through for Katondo. Well won back there. Katongo. Well won back there by Coulson, who plays it forward. Headed away by Knight. Headed back forward by Coulson. Down the left-hand side. Joseph will chase it. Runs out of pitch, and that'll be another throw for Peterborough in a right-back position. And it'll be taken here by Jadel Katongo, who is seen as a ball-playing defender. And he's been at Manchester City since under-9 level. As he throws it long down the right-hand side. Dealt with by Coulson. Controlled by Virtue. Back out to the left here for Husband, who lifts it forward to the edge of the box. Controlled by Edwards. Played forward by Collins. It's a bit loose, but it will fall through to Mothersill, who gets beyond one Blackpool player. And a second. Heavy touch through for Randall. What a piece of play. The number 14's in the box. Tries to slot it in. Big save. Deflects out to the edge of the box. And Epiteta can deal with it. Huge chance for Peterborough. It's massive, and I can't believe they've not scored it there. It was a superb run there by Malik Mothersill, getting beyond multiple Blackpool defenders. It was a loose ball by Husband, played forward by Edwards, and then on once more by Collins. And Mothersill got away from 1 and 2, and his heavy touch, really, I don't think it was a pass. I think it was a touch that was quite heavy, which allowed Joel Randall to get in behind. And as he entered the box on his right foot, tried to go across goal to the bottom left corner. It was saved by the bottom of the foot of Richard O'Donnell, and eventually it was dealt with as it was Mothersill trying to get back into the game, trying to finish the rebound. That's a big chance, that, for Joel Randall. He's on 7 goals already this season in all competitions. He's not scored in 4 in the EFL Trophy so far. But chances like that arise in a semi-final. You've got to take them. But it is a good save from O'Donnell, who had a slight scare a couple of minutes ago, fumbling that cross from Mason Clark. But it's Peterborough back on the ball on this near side. Down the line is Mothersill onside. Mothersill will chase it down, but he can't keep it in. It goes out of play for a throw-in. No flag was raised there. And that's a few times now that Peterborough found themselves in behind. So Blackpool have just got to try and work that line a little bit better. But Darren Ferguson, the Peterborough manager, has got to be absolutely delighted with this so far. His team's been superb. They've dominated the possession with almost 80%. They've had 7 shots, but the one problem is they've all had 1 on target, and that was that one there from Joel Randall, where really he should have scored. As it's with Fuchs for Peterborough, out to the right back of Katongo, midway side his own half. He's got Fuchs inside as the option. Doesn't fancy trying to go forward, so he keeps the possession and goes back here to Josh Knight. And across the 18-yard box here to Edwards at the back for Peterborough. Being closed down here by Joseph. Gets it back out to the right here to Katongo. Josh Knight again, being closed down by Beasley. He's now with Jed Steer with his left foot. Plays it to his left here to Edwards. It's now a left back Burrows inside for Collins. Turning away from Joseph. Going back into his own box here to Edwards. Now finds the right centre back of Josh Knight. Can't say Blackpool aren't pressing, but Peterborough just keeping the ball really well here. Ball forward. It's been played away from Fuchs here to Norburn. This is where Blackpool can win it back, but then they give it away. Poor ball there towards Morgan. And it's been tackled and sent out to the left here to Mason Clark. He's got Lawrence Gabriel behind him, and he's been shrugged off the ball by him. And Blackpool can go forward. Beasley gives away the ball towards Joseph, given away by Collins, but then he wins it back off Beasley. And it's Peterborough back on the ball. It's moments like that when Blackpool win the ball inside the Peterborough half. They've got to try and keep it for at least more than the next pass. Bad giveaway really there in the end by Jake Beasley, who came through the Chesterfield Academy. He's got 4 in 8 in this competition. 3 of them coming this season. So with Peterborough to play out from the back again on their edge of the box with Josh Knight, who did score in this competition last season. Sorry, played once in this competition last season. He's now played every minute in the knockout so far. Josh Knight. There is Neil Critchley, the head coach at Blackpool, 45 years of age, was an assistant of Steven Gerrard at Aston Villa, the club he joined when he left Blackpool the first time around. As Mothersill in behind, flag gone up this time as he entered the box there. This time the Blackpool defensive line was high enough to catch Mothersill offside here. Playing out from the back, it went to Burrows at left back. He tried a ball around the corner and he looks like Mothersill's well onside. I'm surprised the flag's gone up there. It looks like he's well behind Callum Connolly, who's the furthest back for Blackpool. That shocked me that the assistant referee on that far side's given that as offside, to be honest. It looked quite onside to me there. As the free kick's taken by the goalkeeper O'Donnell. Flicked on by the Peterborough centre-back there of Knight. Played through here to Virtue towards the corner flag. Being followed here by Collins. Virtue through the gap to Gabriel Lawrence. Lawrence Gabriel as he played the pull back straight to Fuchs. And Peterborough can deal with it, playing it to Efron. Mason Clark, who outside of the boot, ball down the left-hand side. And Mothersill's onside this time. Into the box, on the angle. Right-footed strike. It's a great block from Epiteta. Mothersill went to open up the body and strike with the right foot. Tried to curl it to that far corner. But the sting of the shot was completely taken out of it as Marvin and Epiteta got in front of the shot and slowed it down for an easy save for O'Donnell. But that was a beautiful passing behind by Mason Clark with the outside of his boot. That'll be someone they will dearly miss next season, Peterborough, as he'll be going back to Coventry at the end of this season, as he was signed by the Championship side in January, but he was loaned back to Peterborough until the end of the season. So it's Blackpool in possession on the halfway line with Husband. Diagonal switch, it's a lifted ball up towards Beasley. Heads it down in towards the box for Joseph. Dealt with there by Edwards. By Knight, sorry. And Katongo can clear it right back for Peterborough. Up towards Mothersill, who will lose out to Epiteta. Had the strength there on the striker. The Blackpool centre-half, who's making his 130th appearance for the club tonight. And it's cleared away by Connolly. It's a long ball deep into the Peterborough half. Flicked on beautifully by Beasley. Straight to Joseph. 25 yards out. Left-footed strike. He's gonna deflect into the hands of Jed Steer. Good block there from Josh Knight again, like Epiteta did with Mothersill's shot. Just completely killed the sting out of the strike. And it's Peterborough who needs to try and clear it here. They go back to goalkeeper Jed Steer. Clears it first time. It's a looped ball up towards the right-hand side. Headed away by Epiteta. Chested down there by Knight. It'll fall through towards Fuchs. Loses out though to Coulson. And it's now Virtue for Blackpool. He wants to strike from around 22 yards out. Blocked before it could get it anywhere near goal. And it's Burrows to find Mason Clark. And the left back is making a run forward now. Mason Clark goes inside instead here to Randall, who in the centre circle. He's got options right and left. Goes out to the right to Katongo. Brings it forward. Midway inside the Blackpool half now. Blackpool have got plenty of bodies back. And they go to the halfway line here to Knight. It's now towards the left back and number 3, Harrison Burrows. Finds Mason Clark. Everything's just right here for Peterborough as he drives inside onto his stronger right foot. Forward to Mothersill. Good control. Lays it off for Randall. And then back it goes to Fuchs. Then out to the right to Katongo. Lifts it into the box for Randall, who tries to control it. Deflects off the leg of Epiteta. Straight to Matty Virtue, who will put a ball over the top here towards the Blackpool left. Joseph will chase it and he'll control it ahead of Knight. He's battling with the number 5. It's a great challenge there from Josh Knight. And he needs to try and clear it, and he can. Down the Peterborough right. It's a low ball. It's picked up by Poku. Back into Katongo, and that's good battling there between Joseph and Knight. And it was the Peterborough centre-half who came out on top. Burrows from left back, driving into the Blackpool half here. Also driving inside, tackle from behind though by Norburn. But Blackpool can't keep it. Burrows Out to the left now to Mason Clark in the final third. 1-on-1 with Lawrence Gabriel. Can he take him on? He wants to go towards the byline. He'll work an early cross and it's miscued. It almost looks like it bobbled on Mason Clark and it went straight out for a throw-in. It's gone Peterborough's way though, so he must have took a nick off a Blackpool defender. As we've almost played half an hour here at Bloomfield Road and it's still all square at 0-0. So we're thrown in the final third on the far side. Katongo to Poku. Back to Katongo. It's right next to the corner flag here. He's right next to Albie Morgan. Tries to cross it off him for a corner, but it goes through to Husband, who doesn't clear very well there for Blackpool. And it's kept in by Katongo on the right. Cleared again by Husband. It's a bit of a looper. Up towards Beasley. Goes beyond him and Knight. Through for Edwards for Peterborough, who goes across into the centre circle to left back Burrows. And he'll play a ball over the top here. Looking for Mason Clark. It's just overhit ever so slightly. Can't be kept in by the Peterborough number 10. And that'll be a goal kick for Blackpool. Has been an enjoyable opening half an hour here in the EFL Trophy semi-final, where one of these two sides will be taking on Bradford or Wycombe at Wembley. The other semi-final will also be commentated on this channel tomorrow, so make sure you're here for that one if you're interested. Blackpool try and go forward now. Virtue can't control the ball. Cleared and sliced for Peterborough there by Ronnie Edwards. Thrown for Blackpool midway side. The Peterborough half on the near side with Lawrence Gabriel. Long thrown into the box. Header away there by Edwards. Miscontrolled by Lawrence Gabriel. Randall now on the ball. Working it to his left to Mason Clark, who now will enter the Blackpool half now. Running at Lawrence Gabriel and playing a ball through towards Mothersill, who never made the run. Ball straight through to the goalkeeper of O'Donnell. Always looking for those defence-splitting passes. Peterborough looking for Malik Mothersill, the 20-year-old striker, who, as I mentioned before, did score against Peterborough. Scored twice against them last season for Chelsea's under-21s in this competition. He has 6 in 9 in the EFL Trophy, Malik Mothersill. Long ball forward from O'Donnell, headed on by Beasley. He'll be picked up by Burrows at left back for Peterborough, who goes inside. It's a great ball to Randall. Goes beyond Norburn. Randall on the ball now. He's going to switch it out to the right. It's a lifted ball. It'll find Poku. It's the perfect weight. He controls it. He just about keeps it away here from Coulson. And he'll run at the Blackpool number 15 now. And goes backwards to the halfway line. Doesn't fancy taking on Harry Coulson. Hayden Coulson, sorry. Hayden Coulson. It's now Peterborough on the near side on the halfway line with Burrows. Goes back here into number 4 of Ronnie Edwards. These two weren't in the same division last season, but the last time they were, before this campaign, was when they were both in the Championship in the 21-22 season. Blackpool won here 3-1 and Peterborough won at their home ground 5-0 back near the end of the season. It's now with Burrows midway inside the Blackpool half at left back for Peterborough. Goes to Archie Collins now into the centre circle with Josh Knight. Now with right back Katongo. His body shape's facing towards his own goals, so has to go all the way to Jed Steer. Good pressing here from Blackpool. Goalkeeper finds Knight at right centre back. Ball forward, deflects off number 8, Albie Morgan, and it'll be a Peterborough throw-in. As mentioned before, good pressing from Blackpool, who've been defeated once before in the semi-finals of this competition. It was against Bolton in 1989 after extra time. But alongside their 2 EFL trophies, Blackpool have also won an FA Cup in 1953 against Bolton. They reached 2 finals before that, where they were defeated in 1948 to Manchester United and 1951 to Newcastle. Connolly, long throwing down the line. It's gone over the head of Edwards, but he can hook it over his head and clear. Headed back forward by Norburn. Going to be controlled here by Mason Clark. He's got Lawrence Gabriel on him. He heads it away as Mason Clark tries to hook it over his head. Lawrence Gabriel through the legs of Mason Clark. Gets the return from Virtue, but he's tackled there by Burrows, who will find Mason Clark. He's now with Collins. Into the 18-yard box it goes now to Edwards, and then across to the right to Knight. Plays the ball down the line. He's going to be cut out by Husband. Too easy there for Blackpool. Not good enough from Peterborough, looking for Malik Mothersill. And Blackpool will restart with their own goalkeeper here of Richard O'Donnell. O'Donnell, the Blackpool goalkeeper, will send it long beyond the halfway line. Headed on there again by Joseph. Dealt with though by Edwards. It's now out to the left back of Burrows. Lifted ball down the line. Controlled by the thigh of Mason Clark. And he keeps it away from Connolly and plays it onto the overlapping Burrows, who crosses first time. It's a low one across the box. Cleared by Epiteta. Straight back to Burrows. Goes across to Mason Clark. Dummies it for Collins. He shoots from afar. Bounces in front of the goalkeeper. On the rebound, Mothersill. It's a great double save. The flag may have gone up there as Mothersill got on the rebound. It has. So it wouldn't have counted. But the goalkeeper for Blackpool, Richard O'Donnell, is showing signs of calmness and then signs of erraticness. Good cross there from Burrows the first time, but he got it back from Epiteta and then played it across to Archie Collins, who struck from afar. And as it bounced in front of the goalkeeper, he could only parry it straight in front of the attacking line of Peterborough, and it was Mothersill to go for the goal. And I think he was just offside as the shot was taken, so it's a let-off for Blackpool. In fairness, they wouldn't have got the goal anyway, as it was saved on the rebound by O'Donnell. But just needs to be careful that he doesn't allow that to happen again, because he can't be parrying shots like that straight in front of goal. It's the long free kick there. It comes off the head of Edwards last, but it's kept in on the near side by Burrows, so Peterborough can continue playing. Now on their edge of the box with Edwards, across to the right back of Katongo. Being closed down here by Morgan. Goes down the line here to Poku. Gets it back to Katongo, then inside, back to Poku again. It's now to the edge of the box to Edwards. Left back Burrows, midway inside the Peterborough half on the near side. Forward to the halfway line to Mason Clark. Inside to Collins in the centre circle. Curls it out to the right to Katongo. First time touch forward for Poku. He's got his back to the Blackpool goal. He's dribbled back to his own half here and goes back to Edwards at centre back. Good pressing again from Blackpool to force Poku all the way to the centre backs. As he'll receive the ball back here, he crosses the halfway line onto his left foot. Plays the ball over the top here towards Mason Clark, who chests it down for Mothersill. He controls it. He strikes it with the left foot. That's a brilliant finish from Malik Mothersill. And he's had a few bites at the cherry. And finally, he's made that one count. It's a beyond beautiful assist there from Ephron Mason Clark, who they will so dearly miss next season as he goes to ply his trade in the Championship with Coventry. The way he chested that down, took the weight of the pass off his chest completely. It was a good ball by Poku, found the run of Mason Clark in behind, like I say, took the weight of the pass off it completely, just to bounce it into Mothersill, who on his left foot just curled it away towards the top right corner, away from the goalkeeper, O'Donnell, who was stretching. He tried his best, but there's no way he was stopping that from nestling into the top right corner. It's a real delicate finish there from Malik Mothersill, who gets his third of the season. They've all come in this competition. His previous two were both against Arsenal's under-21s in the second round. And he's gave Peterborough the 1-0 lead here in the semi-final. Assist from Mason Clark and a superb finish there from Mothersill. But that chested touch for the assist was unbelievable. Just killed the weight of the pass from Poku. Just allow Mothersill to just take the touch and strike it. It's not like the chested touch, like flicked it on, so the pace of the pass was still going towards Mothersill. It killed it dead, so he could just take a nice touch in front of him and get the shot off. That's beautiful. And Peterborough have a deserved lead, it has to be said. As it's Burrows now in the Blackpool half, striding forward, playing it down the line here for Mothersill. Burrows goes down off the ball, But Peterborough will continue to attack. Last touch there off Mothersill. And it'll be a Blackpool throw in there. Just couldn't quite take on Epiteta. Hand in the face there from Connolly as Burrows ran off him. And I said he went down off the ball. And I don't know how that's not been given as a free kick and a yellow card. Hand in the face there by Callum Connolly. Got away with that one, the Blackpool centre-back. It's now back with Peterborough. Late challenge there, surely. Yep, on Randall. Taken down there. And you just would not believe that Peterborough are playing away from home. The style of football they're playing, you'd expect to see this when they're at home and they're in more comfortable surroundings, but they clearly play this way of football no matter where they go. Deflected pass down the line for Peterborough, and that'll be a throw-in for the away side. So I'm thinking here for Neil Critchley to do, the Blackpool head coach. They've barely had any of the ball. They've barely gone forward as well. They only had 2 touches in the opponent's box. And there's 5 minutes to go to the break here. Peterborough playing out from the back here with Edwards. Back to the goalkeeper, Steer. Clears it forward first time. It's a looper up towards Mason Clark, headed forward by Lawrence Gabriel. Brought down there by Collins to find his central midfield partner of Fuchs. It's now back again midway inside the Peterborough half. On the edge of the box now it goes to Edwards. Out to the left to Burrows. Down the line it goes. It's a loose pass though. Can't find Mason Clark. It's now with Connolly. Down the line. Nowhere near an orange shirt. That's really bad. Picked up by Burrows. And again, as I mentioned, every time Blackpool are winning the ball at the moment, nothing's coming from it. They're just giving it straight back. Peterborough are forward now. Mothersill finding Randall. Looking in behind out to the right towards Katongo. Can't quite beat Coulson to it. Free kick for the home side as Katongo just nudged Coulson off the ball. Commentary sounds great in Amsterdam. Amsterdam. Didn't know that. I'm so glad it sounds so good from so far away. But it's still Blackpool 0, Peterborough 1. A Malik Mothersill goal. Superbly taken. About 12 yards out. Left foot, top right corner. No chance for Richard O'Donnell in the Blackpool goal, who'll take the free kick long into the Peterborough half. Header won confidently by Josh Knight. Flicked on by Poku to Mothersill. Back into Fuchs. And a cross out to the left. Loads of space here for Burrows, who touches it in front of him. Enters the Blackpool half here. Burrows on the ball. Head up and cross. All the way through to the far post. How no one's got onto that, I do not know. Goal kick for Blackpool. There's a reason why Harrison Burrows is on 10 assists in the league this season. It's for deliveries like that. Took it on early. About 25 yards from goal on the left-hand side. Crossed it low right the way through. It missed Randall at the near post. It missed Mothersill in the middle of the box. And it went straight through for a goal kick. Huge opportunity that for Peterborough. If someone could have got on the end of it with a good contact. There's Blackpool attack down the left-hand side here. Kyle Joseph keeps it in. But then loses out to Knight. Where his clearance can't find Randall. It's back down the Blackpool left. It's a late catch there on Albie Morgan. And it's a free kick for Blackpool on their far on the left-hand side. Albie Morgan caught late there by Jadal Katongo. Tried to play it first time round the corner there, Albie Morgan, to Kyle Joseph. And yeah, just got caught on the top of his foot there by the studs of Katongo. And despite not really being in the game too much, Blackpool, if they could try and nick an equaliser from a set piece, they would certainly take that. Especially in a cup semi-final. It don't really matter if you play poorly. If you win, that's all that the fans will remember. As the cross goes in from the free kick. It's a dangerous one, headed on, deflected. Header from Kyle Joseph straight at Jed Steer in the Peterborough goal. Fell very nicely there for Kyle Joseph with the header. As the ball went in, the header was won originally by Beasley. It wasn't a straight header towards goal. It went out to the left towards Joseph, who himself headed towards goal, but it lacked the pace, and it was straight at the goalkeeper in the end. And it's now Peterborough to play out from the back with less than 90 seconds of the first half to play. Edwards in the 18-yard box. He takes it around one Blackpool player and finds Burrows at left back. Forward to Mason Clark, who's got Epiteta trying to hold him off. Gets it back to Burrows, who turns on Norburn. And goes down over the challenge, and that'll be a free kick for Peterborough. One captain fouls the other. Norburn there on Burrows. Got less than a minute of this first half, and it is Peterborough ahead at the moment, outclassing Blackpool, trying to make up for that 2-1 defeat that they suffered against Blackpool at the weekend at home. Josh Knight, ball forward, headed away on the halfway line for Blackpool. Up towards Kyle Joseph, who's touch ahead of him, comes off the hand, and it'll be a free kick on the edge of the box for Peterborough. Kyle Joseph disagrees with the referee that that's come off the arm. Nothing's quite worked for them up front, Kyle Joseph and Jake Beasley, because they are feeding off scraps a little bit, because when the ball's gone forward towards them, both of them have been winning their headers, both at 6'1" up front for Blackpool. But there's no one really getting on the end of their flick-ons at the moment, and there's definitely a lot to think about for Blackpool's head coach Neil Critchley, talking there with assistant head coach of Mike Garrity and Ian Brunskill. That's the free kick for Peterborough, played out to the left by the goalkeeper. Can't find Mothersill, headed away by Connolly. Headed away though by Edwards. Headed out to the left by Collins. Kept in by Mason Clark as he plays it down the line. Straight for Blackpool as it was chased down by Beasley. Edwards gets there first and clears down the line. Keeps it in as well. Straight to Mason Clark, who gets away with that poor back pass. As he puts his arm in the air for an apology, but Peterborough have got away with it. Katongo's ball looking for Mothersill. Dealt with there by Husband. We've had a minute added on. 30 seconds have already been played here. As Peterborough win a goal kick as Knight tried to go back to steer. Deflected off Joseph. Goal kick for Peterborough. So be Jed Steer to take, who did not play a minute of football last season. Jed Steer due to an Achilles injury that he picked up the season before when he was on loan at Luton. So he's finally back in the swing of first team football. This is just his 6th appearance for Peterborough. Second in this competition. His last came in the last 16 against Crawley. As Blackpool try and get it forward from the goal kick. Drops here to Jordo Fuchs in the midfield. And that'll be enough for the referee for the first half. And it's Peterborough who have a deserved lead. Coming here to Bloomfield Road. A place they've already won this season. In late October in the league, winning 4-2. And at the moment in that fixture, they were 2-0 up at half-time. This time it's just the one. And it was Malik Mothersill with the goal in the 37th minute. It was a ball forward to the edge of the box by Poku. It was chested down beautifully by Mason Clark into Mothersill, who took a touch and then struck with his left foot, bending it away from the goalkeeper into the top right corner. It was an almost impossible shot to save, and it found its way into the goal for Peterborough to take a 1-goal lead. They've had 75% of the possession. They've had 10 shots, of 3 of them on target. They've been nothing short of 10 out of 10 at the moment for Peterborough. And that's why at half-time here at Bloomfield Road, they have a 1-goal lead. It's Blackpool 0, Peterborough 1. Really good half from the away side. They play such good football under Darren Ferguson. It's really appealing to the eye. And to do it with such a young squad, you know, their average age of the squad is 22. Their captain tonight is 22. Just to list some of the ages, they've got a 19-year-old right back, a 20-year-old centre-back, captain at 22. They've got a 20-year-old striker, and then a 22-year-old winger. They've got a lot of youth in this squad, and they play without fear. And Blackpool have not been able to deal with it so far. And they've lacked creativity, Blackpool. They've not created loads of chances, and they've got a lot of work to do in this second half if they want to try and turn this around. I'll be back for the second half in around 15 minutes. So come back in 15 where we'll have the second half of Blackpool against Peterborough. We're here at half-time in the Bristol Street Motors semi-final between Blackpool and Peterborough. It is Blackpool 0, Peterborough 1.
We're back for the second half of Blackpool against Peterborough in the EFL Trophy semi-final. The first of two. Tomorrow's semi-final is also being commentated on, and that is Bradford at home to Wycombe. So Bradford of League Two looking to reach Wembley for the first time since 2013. Was that when they got to the League Cup final against Swansea? Or was it 2012? I think it was 2013. I could be wrong. But huge moment for Bradford, who are not doing that well in League Two under Graham Alexander. They are in the bottom half. But they're taking on a Wimbledon side who aren't having the greatest seasons of their own, really. They're also slumped near the bottom half of League One. So I do believe whoever wins this one between Blackpool and Peterborough will 100% be favourites for the final. Whoever they may come up against, if that is League Two Bradford or League One Wycombe Wanderers. But he'll have to take some next level performance from Blackpool to get themselves back in this game, because Peterborough have been absolutely fantastic. Played them off the park and have a deserved 1-goal lead. Blackpool haven't had many chances. They had a flurry at the start of the half, and then they had a half chance at the end of the half with Kyle Joseph. But in the middle of the first half, they've done absolutely nothing. Literally a slight bit of a chance in the start of the first half, then a little one at the end of the second, at the end of the half. And by that, it's been not much really going on for Blackpool. They've just found it really difficult to get the ball off Peterborough. When they do win the ball back, a lot of the time they're just giving it back to Peterborough, which is the last thing you want to do. So it's going to have to be a completely different kind of performance now from Blackpool, as it'll be Peterborough to kick left to right, Blackpool right to left now. Who will book that spot into Wembley? Peterborough looking to get to the final of this competition since the last time they won it in 2014 under their current manager Darren Ferguson, who's in his fourth spell at the club. Just one win in his last 6 against Blackpool. But his last 5 wins in this fixture against Blackpool have come away at Bloomfield Road. So Darren Ferguson does usually like playing against Blackpool at their own ground, which is strange. Obviously, usually managers would rather be at home, but he obviously prefers playing here. He prefers his sides playing here at Bloomfield Road. So back underway into this second half. It's Blackpool on the ball with their right centre-back of Connolly. Back to the goalkeeper of O'Donnell. And does need to be a change from Blackpool in their performance, as O'Donnell's kick goes straight out of play for a Peterborough throw midway inside their own half. On the far side, it'll be taken by Harrison Burrows. Come on, Borough. Got a Peterborough fan in here, and I mean, I can't make anything up. I've not watched Peterborough before this season, but the football they've been playing, it is fantastic to watch. I can see where it can go wrong at times. It's very risky, but when it comes off, it's just really silky football, and it's great to watch. But they have given it away here through Burrows, but then won back quickly by Mason Clark inside his own half on the far side. Burrows, the left back, wanting to play it forward, finds Mason Clark. It's now back with left centre half of Ronnie Edwards. On his right foot, goes across the box here to Josh Knight. Takes a touch forward and then plays it down the line here. Cut out though by Husband. Poku caught on his feet. Husband in the final third goes back here to Albie Morgan. It's Blackpool now in possession on the halfway line, and they have to go back to their own goalkeeper. Epiteta's ball was slightly short to Connolly, so had to go back to O'Donnell, the goalkeeper, who plays the ball forward. It's a long ball out to the right, nowhere near a shirt in orange. It's picked up by Burrows, forward to Collins, laid off to Randall by Mason Clark, and it's the away side who are back in possession with their goalkeeper Steer. Out to the left centre back here of Edwards. Back to Steer again.
Goes across to the right now to Knight, bringing it forward outside the 18-yard box. Wanting to play the pass, fires it forward. Can't find Mothersill, cut out by Epiteta. But straight here to John Doe Fuchs. And it's Peterborough again in possession. Forward and halfway to Randall. Out to the left now to Burrows, 10 yards away from halfway. Plays it forward here to Mason Clark, who's caught in possession there by Lawrence Gabriel. And he'll stride forward. He can't get around Collins. Good midfield work there from Archie Collins, who kicks it off Lawrence Gabriel. And that'll be throwing for the away side. Doesn't give it away too often, Mason Clark. But Lawrence Gabriel did well there to nick it off him and then couldn't quite get around Archie Collins. Feel like they need to get the wing backs more in the game, Blackpool. They've seemed a bit non-existent going forward. Lawrence Gabriel and Hayden Coulson. As Peterborough give it away. Mason Clark running out of room on the far side. His touch has gone out of play. Throwing for Blackpool. Midway side the Peterborough half here. As we have had a quick start to the second half here for Blackpool. But they did this in the first half and then did nothing for the rest of the half. So they need to try and keep this pressure up. They're going to send a long throw into the box here. They've sent up centre-back Martin Epiteta. The throw-in goes into the near post. Header away by Mason Clark, but headed out by Norburn to Lawrence Gabriel, who puts the ball in to the far post. And it's headed forward there by Jake Beasley, but straight at the goalkeeper, Jed Steer. Had to generate the power himself there with the header as the cross was just lifted to the far post. He got up well there, Jake Beasley, in fairness. But again, the direction of the header was right at the goalkeeper and it lacked power, but not to any fault of his own. Like I say, he had to generate the power himself. He really had to use his neck muscles to try and force a save out of Jed Steer, but it was a comfortable one in the end as Peterborough in the centre circle lose the ball to Albie Morgan. It's back with Epiteta, who lets it run through here for James Husband. And then back it goes here to Richard O'Donnell, who's been at 14 clubs previously. The most appearances he's made for one club was Bradford. 137 games he played for them. And that is a team who are still in this competition. They're in the other semi-final against Wickham. Just frustrating for Blackpool, really, because they are attacking the end where there are no home fans behind the goal. This competition can sometimes lack good attendances. And Blackpool have pretty much put all the fans behind the other goal. So they're attacking in front of no supporters in this second half. Blackpool, as they've got the ball on the halfway line with Albie Morgan. It's now with Epiteta. To the right to Callum Connolly, former England under-21 international back in 2018. Has one goal previously against Peterborough in a 2-1 win for Fleetwood back in the 2019-2020 season. As Blackpool lost it, it's with Poku. Collins forward to the halfway line to Randall. Not got many options in front of him, so has to go back here to Poku. It's now Josh Knight on the edge of the box. Is Ronnie Edwards on the ball to the left back of Burrows. Facing his own goal here, Burrows. So has to go into the box here to find Edwards. Across the goalkeeper of Steer. First time clearance forward with his left foot towards Mothersill, who controls it really well and then's pulled down by Connolly. And that'll be a yellow card. That's such good forward play from Malik Mothersill, the goal scorer. Getting his third goal against Peterborough. He scored a brace against them last season in this competition for Chelsea's under-21s. And he brought that down so well then, was just pulled back in the centre circle. Clear grip of the shirt there from Callum Connolly. And it's a well-won free kick there by Malik Mothersill. Blackpool clear it from the free kick. Can it be dealt with here by Edwards? He nods it down for himself and then controls it to Katongo, the right back. He's been forced to Jed Steer in goal for Peterborough. Out to the right in a right back position for Edwards, who clears it down the line. It stayed in all the way through and it will roll out slowly for a goal kick here for Blackpool. Had to just get rid of that one there at the back for Peterborough. Ronnie Edwards. But Peterborough are definitely playing like a team who were doing well in form at the moment, but that's not the case. They've lost their last 4 games in the league, including that loss at the weekend to Blackpool. And it does, I mentioned this before, but before the run of 4 losses in a row, they were 8 unbeaten in the league. So it's obviously just a slight blip, but they can clearly play. And they're coming forward again here with Katongo at right back in the final third. Lee lays it into Poku here. Peterborough's number 11. He's one-on-one here with Albie Morgan. Tries to play a ball through, tackle strongly there by Coulson. Deflects out to the right to Katongo, who goes down over the challenger husband. Nothing given to Peterborough, and it would be a Blackpool attack if they can try and create one quickly. Morgan going long and out to the right towards Lawrence Gabriel. Goes over him and Burrows. Thrown for Peterborough. Midway inside the away team's half. And it'll be taken by their captain at left back. Long throwing towards the halfway line, flicked on by Mason Clark. Mothersill will chase it, and the free kick goes against Mothersill as he was grappling there with Callum Connolly. So it will be Callum Connolly to take it, the man who just won the free kick. The Liverpool-born defender came through Everton's academy, but had 8 loan spells whilst he was at Everton, and then eventually left for Blackpool on a free in July 2021. His free kick goes long. It's tried to be headed forward there by Virtue. Picked up in the box here by Beasley. Leaves the 18-yard box and tries to play it forward towards Lawrence Gabriel. Dealt with by Fuchs and Mason Clark, but Fuchs gives it away. Edge of the box now. Morgan. Can he strike it? He can with the left foot. Well blocked there by Josh Knight. Still alive here for Blackpool, but they've lost it to Randall. So now with Peterborough's Collins, who gets out to the left here to Mason Clark, running one-on-one with Connolly in the 18-yard box now. Mason Clark, left-footed shot, completely miscued, over and wide, and it is a goal kick for Blackpool. It was a great ball, though, to start that counter-attack off by Archie Collins, who was midway inside his own half. It's curled it out to the left to Mason Clark, who ran at Callum Connolly, who just kept backing off until Mason Clark eventually had the shot towards goal and fired it over the crossbar. O'Donnell with the goal kick. Forward it goes. Can't find Beasley. Straight out for a Peterborough throw-in on the far side. Starting to get frustrated, I think, those two up front for Blackpool. As Blackpool have the biggest test of them all at the weekend, when they've got to face Bolton at home. The team they did beat in the quarterfinals to get to this stage, beat them on penalties. But after that, they've got 2 away trips of Leyton Orient and Shrewsbury. And for Peterborough, they're on the roads again at the weekend, coming up against Cambridge. But then they've got back-to-back home fixtures against Exeter and Northampton. So 10 minutes into the second half, ball given away by Collins. Albie Morgan for Blackpool, midway inside the Peterborough half. Needs to release it. He's got Fuchs trying to stop him as best possible, but he can find Norburn. And then back to Epiteta. Momentum slightly killed here for Blackpool, as they've got the ball in their own half here, with the centre-back of Marvin Epiteta across to the right here to Connolly. Lawrence Gabriel. High ball down the right-hand side. It's overhit, straight out for a goal kick. Just seems like that link and that connection between the defence and midfield to the attack is just off. They're not getting that ball through to the forward players well enough. With those balls that are going high and forward, they're not finding the strikers. And then when they are finding the strikers can't find anyone. And I think that's what Neil Critchley's saying there, the Blackpool head coach. They need to get closer together. It seems a bit too disjointed up there for Blackpool. As Peterborough give it away. Mason Clark. Cross goes in by Virtue. Header won by Coulson, and over the bar it goes. He got up there well, Hayden Coulson, on loan from Middlesbrough. Mason Clark just shoved off the ball there, and the ball went in by Virtue as Mason Clark was bundled off the ball by Lawrence Gabriel, and he just hung across in at the far post there, Matty Virtue. And about 10 yards out, Coulson won the header on Katongo, but directed it over the crossbar as Poku takes down Morgan. Free kick for Blackpool in the Peterborough half on the left-hand side. Slight little knock to the right leg of Albie Morgan. And this is a chance for Blackpool to deliver this ball in the box. It's going to be a right-footed cross. It'll swing in towards goal here. It's a curling ball towards the far post. Header away by Edwards. Drops to the edge of the box to Norburn. Gets it out to the right here. Cross goes into the far post for Blackpool again. Header won there well by Mason Clark. Kept alive for Blackpool. Albie Morgan comes off the hand of Burrows. Play continues as the ball goes in towards the far post. Goes over the head of Epiteta. And it'll curl out for a goal kick for Peterborough. Blackpool starting to show a little bit more intent. And starting to show that they could possibly try and take this game to penalties. As Morgan played it forward. It did come off the hand of Burrows, who in fairness was trying to move his hand away. But it went through towards Morgan anyway, so play continued and the cross was put over and wide. And away it goes for a goal kick. Blackpool come again, winning it on that far side with Connolly. Midway side the Peterborough half. Dispossessed by Mason Clark illegally, says the referee. Free kick midway side the Peterborough half here for Blackpool. Mason Clark thinks that's slightly harsh on himself, but the referee, Lewis Smith's given it. It's definitely been Blackpool on top in the start of this second half. They've not been allowing Peterborough to play the football they were in the first half. So it'll be a free kick from the right-hand side here for Blackpool. It goes into the 18-yard box. It's a deep one towards the far post. Epiteta wins the header. And it sails over the crossbar. Always too high there from Marvin Epiteta, the Blackpool centre-back, who's got the 2 goals so far this season. 1 in this competition to Burton in the last 16. Peterborough go long with their left-back, Burrows, up towards Mothersill. Header won there by Connolly, played forward by Randall to Mothersill, then to Mason Clark, who can't quite get in behind. Good block there by Lawrence Gabriel, throwing for Peterborough, as we've got half an hour left to play in this one. Still 1-0 to the away side. It's now with Josh Knight to Lawrence, to Katongo at right back. Poku, he's got Husband following him all the way. Poku keeps it in on the near side and goes across goal to Fuchs, and then back here into Steer. Out to the right centre back in the defensive third for Josh Knight. Brings the ball forward. Needs to release it. Plays the low ball down the line. Can't find Mothersill. Dealt with by Epiteta. Here goes back to Richard O'Donnell on the edge of the Blackpool 18-yard box. And he'll slam the ball forward. It's a high one. It's up towards Beasley. Header won though by Collins. Controlled by Norburn for Blackpool. And it's the home side in possession in their own half. Once again with their goalkeeper of O'Donnell, who's played 23 times in this competition. 24 including tonight for 7 different clubs. He's really been around the block. The 35-year-old goalkeeper, as his long ball can't find Joseph. Dealt with by Burrows. It's now in the Peterborough 18-yard box of Josh Knight. He will dribble it outside of his area and bring the ball forward, the commanding centre-half here. And he'll try switch out to the left. It's a lifted ball straight to Mason Clark. It's a great ball. He'll run at Lawrence Gabriel here. Mason Clark playing the ball through to Randall, who's on his own, in the box, on the angle, lifts it over the goalkeeper and wide it goes. They've had limited chances in this second half, but Peterborough have had the best of the lot. After having to defend for pretty much the whole of the second half so far, they eventually found themselves in behind the Blackpool defence. And it was played through here to Joel Randall. And on the angle on the left side of the box, he just tried to lift it to the far corner, but too wide it went, the attempt. And behind for a goal kick, let off for Blackpool as they're going to make a change of their own with less than half an hour to go. It's the match winner from Saturday's game against Peterborough. Karamoko Dembele will come on. And I think he'll replace, I'm not quite sure who he replaced, but another substitute we're going to get is number 9, Kyle Joseph. He'll come off for number 22, CJ Hamilton. And another change is number 18. So 2 strikers off, Kyle Joseph and Jake Beasley are replaced by CJ Hamilton and Shane Lavery. And the other man to come on was Karamoko Dembele, and he replaced number 8, Albie Morgan. So a triple change for Blackpool as they are definitely playing better than they were in the first half. It's a little less dominant from Peterborough. As it's on the halfway line now with Blackpool. They go back into their own half here with Epiteta. It's now Husband at left centre-back. Forward to Norburn. Back out to Husband. Still inside the Blackpool half here. Coulson back to Husband. Has that gone out of play? No, it stayed in at the moment. And then Lavery gets the last chested touch out of play. And that'll be a Peterborough throw-in on this near side. On the halfway line. Randall out to the right here to Poku. One-on-one with Husband in the final third. He wants to get onto his stronger left foot. He goes on the outside instead towards the byline. It's a weak right-footed cross, but it's helped out with a nick behind for a corner there by James Husband. You can tell that Poku wanted to go on the inside there, but had to go on the outside. Attempted the cross. Took a nick off the Blackpool defender. And it's a corner for the away side. Corner goes short, back to the taker of Burrows, to the edge of the area. Crossed in by Collins, but there was a foul in the box there. John Doe Fuchs was the one who was penalised. What team do you support? I do support a team in the Premier League, but I don't mention that in case just people try and accuse me of being biased. When I've never, usually, in fairness, when I'm commentating, because no one's ever picked up who I support, but I do support a lower league team in League 2, which is Stockport County, which I talk about because I feel like I can get less stick for talking about Stockport County than talking about Premier League teams, because Premier League like banter online, it's just rubbish. Like, it's just loads of keyboard warriors who never go to games. But I feel like when you talk about League 2 and League 1 sides, and even Championship, it just feels more authentic, the discussions you have. So I like talking about them more than the Premier League side, because it can just get all a bit just boring. I don't know why. That's just what I believe. My birthday, Andy's birthday. Happy birthday to Andy, who's deciding to spend the birthday checking out the Blackpool Peterborough Bristol Street Motors semi-final here, as we could have a goal with Dembele. Ball forward into the box, cut out by Fuchs. Headed back forward here by Connolly. Dembele out wide to the right-hand side to Lawrence Gabriel, who puts the ball into the far post. Headed forward by Coulson, and it's into their gloves of Jed Steer. Easily caught there for the 31-year-old goalkeeper. Former England under-19 international. 13 years ago. He was hung up to the far post. And again, not the greatest of headers there by Coulson. The left wing-back for Blackpool, who is a former England under-18 international himself. As Epiteta on halfway. Intercepts a Poku pass from Peterborough. And it's now with Matty Virtue for Blackpool. Back to Epiteta. To his left, 10 yards Husband. Lifts the ball down the left-hand side. Hamilton will chase it down. Will Josh Knight be able to see it out? No, he'll turn CJ Hamilton instead. That's great defending. It's now with Fuchs on the edge of the box. Back into Edwards, who finds Josh Knight at right centre-back. Plays the ball forward into the central area. Randall around the corner. Wants the 1-2 with Mothersill, but it's intercepted there by Virtue. And it's Blackpool back in possession. It has been a much better half from the home side, but again, they're lacking the clear-cut chances. They're not created too many of them, really. As it'll go back to O'Donnell in the 18-yard box here for Blackpool. It's now with Callum Connolly, who hasn't played any minutes in the last 6 in the league, but he's been called upon to play at right centre-back in this EFL Trophy semi-final, as his long ball's gone missing for Blackpool. Can't keep the possession in the Peterborough half, and it's with the away side now, with Archie Collins. It's now Edwards. Out to the left back of Burrows, and down the line to Randall. The ball wasn't kept in by the left back. Throw-in for the home side. It's just inside the Peterborough half. The throw-in goes long. It goes over Edwards, but then dealt with by Collins. Will it be caught here by Steer? It will be. Not seen as a back pass. And he rolls it out quickly towards Fuchs. 2 players go in for it, and the ball goes beyond them both. And then Fuchs with the late challenge. And that'll be a yellow card. It's a late one there on James Husband. Jean-Do Fuchs, who's only making his 10th appearance of the season, but he has started the last 5 games in this competition, and he just left the late one there unhusbanded. As the first challenge he went in there with Norburn, they both missed it. Then he went in the second time there with Husband, and Husband got there first, and Fuchs missed it once again and caught the man late, and that's the most obvious yellow card you'll ever see. Ball goes in to the far post, headed forward, well wide, nowhere near goal there for Blackpool. I'm not quite sure who headed that in the end, in fairness. Couldn't quite make out who that was, but the header wasn't good enough. Still 1-0 here. We've got a quarter of the game left to play. Left back Burrows in the defensive third for Peterborough. Dembele's closing him down. Goes back here into Edwards. Now Jed Steer clears it first time. The goalkeeper. Flicked on by Randall. Drops to Mothersill, the goal scorer. Plays it to his right here to Poku, who's dispossessed by Coulson. Who's ball out to the right to Dembele. Goes beyond him. And it's a Peterborough throw-in. And it'll be taken here by Harrison Burrows, whose contract is meant to expire at the end of the year, but he does have a year extension contract. I can't really see him going anywhere else. The Peterborough-born left-back. But they lose it from the throw-in again. Mason Clark's not had the greatest second half, the number 10 for Peterborough. The assist maker for the goal. It's now in the centre circle of Epiteta for Blackpool. To the left, to Husband. Lifted ball down the line. Just completely miscues it. Straight out of play for a Peterborough throw-in. Thrown inside towards Poku, dispossessed by Husband, but the loose touch is played forward by Collins. Swept up there by Connolly. Again, Blackpool back in possession quickly. Epiteta playing out to the left towards Coulson. He's got his back to the opposition goals. Finds Epiteta again. His ball down the line towards no one in an orange shirt again. Peterborough throwing. They're just not doing enough at the moment, the home side. On the ball. Not creating enough openings at the moment. And it looks like Peterborough are going to make that change. Their first of the game. And it's going to be Jean-Do Fuchs, who's just picked up a yellow card. So they're taking no risks whatsoever there with the Cameroon, or former Cameroon international. Played twice for them in November 2018 and October 2019. And he will be replaced by the goal scorer for Peterborough at the weekend. And that is Hector Kiprianu. He's played 4 times for Cyprus now, in October and November of last year. And put Peterborough 1-0 up in this fixture at the weekend when they faced each other in the league. So back underway. Husband at left centre-back. Ball over the top. Looking for Hamilton, who flicks it on, but no one's making a run in behind for Blackpool. Cleaned up by Ronnie Edwards. It's now to left-back Burrows on halfway. Turns away from Karamoko Dembele. And then back into Edwards, who's been closed down by Hamilton. So goes to his goalkeeper Steer in the 18-yard box. Steer out to the left here to Edwards again, who turns away from Hamilton and goes inside to the box to number 27, Archie Collins. Out to the right now to Peterborough's number 5 of Josh Knight. Misplaced pass towards Mothersill. Cut out by Epiteta on halfway. And it's Blackpool back on the ball on their edge of the 18-yard box here with O'Donnell. Sorry, I'm just trying to... It says my stream is saying that my audio rate is low. When it's obviously... It can't be low because you can hear me, so... Sorry, just trying to make sure I can still be heard here. So an attacking change for Blackpool. I do apologise. The Blackpool change before saw Killian Kouassi come on. The 6'2" striker. It is now CJ Hamilton who's on. So they're going to go to a back 4 here, Blackpool. Send on an extra attacker. As they play a long ball forward, dealt with there so easily by Edwards. And it goes out to the right back here, or the right centre-back of Josh Knight. Brings it forward, curls it down the line here. Can he find Mothersill? He shrugs off Husband and Mothersill's in. 1-on-1 with Epiteta. Can he get his second? Mothersill in the box. Squares it. Randall flicks it through. Mason Clark strikes in and it's cleared off the line by Epiteta. Still alive for Peterborough. Played forward there by Cipriano, who was caught. And he stays down. Referee's not giving anything. Ball out to the left, cut out by Karamoko Dembele, who strides forward with it. Shows too much of it to Archie Collins, but he wins it back and then takes on 3 Peterborough players. 1-on-1 by Dembele. Plays it through to the right to Lavery, who's tackled strongly there by Peterborough's number 4 of Ronnie Edwards. And that's a huge chance for Peterborough to go 2 up. And they've lost out there. Clearance off the line by Epiteta. Shrugs off the ball too easily there. Husband to allow Mothersill to get in behind and enter the box. He was unselfish. He squared it to Randall, who flicked it through to the left side of the box towards Mason Clark, whose strike was deflected, went beyond the goalkeeper, and had to be cleared off the line. Long throw-in goes in for Blackpool. Flicked on into the box. Poku can't clear it convincingly and does a second time of asking. Into the Blackpool half. Mothersill will chase it. O'Donnell will get there first for Blackpool. And he'll play it to the left to Coulson, 10 yards away from the halfway line. Clears it forward, comes off Randall. And that'll be a throw-in just inside the Peterborough half of Blackpool on this near side. And Peterborough are going to make 2 more changes here. It's going to be number 17, Ricky J. Jones, who's got a fantastic record in this competition. 6 in 10 altogether. He'll come on, and so will David Ajiboy, who spent last season back on loan at Sutton for the second half of the campaign, scoring 4 goals. Won the league with Sutton in the National League in 2021. And they'll replace the goal scorer, Malik Mothersill, who continues his fine goal-scoring form in this competition. That's now 7 in 10 for him in the EFL Trophy. He'll be replaced by Ricky J. Jones, and number 11, Kwame Poku, will be replaced by David Ajiboy, who's making his 50th Peterborough appearance. He's got the 4 goals so far, and he had started every other game in this competition, David Ajiboy, until this semi-final here, where he was dropped for Kwame Poku. And we're back underway. Ball's in the air, midway side the Peterborough half, headed forward by Husband, out to the left. It'll be chased down by Kouassi. Headed away, though, by Cipriano, not very convincing. Cleared in the end away by Knight for Peterborough. Header goes back here towards O'Donnell, the goalkeeper. He plays it calmly to the left here to Epiteta. Then across to the right centre-back of Lawrence Gabriel. Now out to the right here to Karamoko Dembele. He's 1-on-1 with the Peterborough Burrows. He tries to go around him, but the touch goes out of pitch. And it's a throw-in for Peterborough with 15 minutes left to play. Blackpool still searching for that equaliser to take it straight to penalties. Epiteta heads it straight in here to Mason Clark, who has it for Peterborough. Backheels it into Burrows. He's going to go for an early cross, which deflects back towards him, but cleared by Epiteta. Out to the right-hand side, Kouassi for Blackpool. Keeps it away from Edwards. Now brings in Karamoko Dembele, who plays it back down the line for Kouassi. Playing in the right wing position at the moment, the number 27. Lays it off here to Karamoko Dembele. And then back towards the halfway line now to Husband. Furthest left is Coulson. Everything to his right. Plays it down the line here for CJ Hamilton, who on the outside towards the byline works a low cross in. It deflects through. Lavery lays it off. Strike wanted by Virtue, but it's taken away from him. Cleared by Peterborough. And it'll be sent back forward by Epiteta on halfway. Lawrence Gabriel returns it back to Epiteta. And it's now with Husband. He lifts the ball forward for Blackpool out towards the right-hand side. Again, absolutely no one near it. That is just absolute rubbish from James Husband. And it's a throw-in for Peterborough inside their own half. He's got to be at least aiming for an orange shirt. Don't know who he was even going for there with that. He was near absolutely nobody. It just frustrates me when stuff like that happens. It's a simple forward pass. He didn't even have to go long, in fairness. He could have kept the ball on the floor, but Blackpool style of play is to send it forward and go for it. And I feel like the longer this game goes on and the longer it goes at 1-0, the more long balls we'll be getting from Blackpool. And as mentioned before, but the other semi-final between Bradford and Wycombe will also be on this channel tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. There's Epiteta, high ball down the right-hand side for Blackpool. It comes off Ronnie Edwards last, so it'll be a throw-in for Blackpool on the far side. Finds Karamoko Dembele. On his left foot, plays it across here to Virtue. Then out to the left to Coulson. Lays it off to Hamilton in the final third. 1-on-1 with Katongo. Forward to Coulson. Tries the 1-2. Deflects there. Off. That is number 16, Ajiboy. He will then stride down the right as he won the ball back and plays it around the corner. Can't quite feed it through for Ricky J. Jones. And it's dealt with well by Husband. And Blackpool can try and work it forward again with Epiteta. Forward to Karamoko Dembele on the halfway line. Misplaced pass there, picked up by Cipriano. It's now with Mason Clark. Ball in behind for Ricky J. Jones. The goalkeeper comes for it. Does he get there before the attacker? No, he doesn't. Penalty given. Ricky J. Jones had the pace to get there before the goalkeeper. The referee hesitated with the whistle as Joel Randall had a shot at goal. But that shot didn't hit the back of the net, so the referee went back to the original penalty shout and has given the decision in Peterborough's favour. Richard O'Donnell is pleading his innocence. Let's have a look. The ball was played through. Jones got there. Yeah, and was caught. It's a penalty for me. Ricky J. Jones sliding in, kicking the ball away from the goalkeeper and going straight into Blackpool's number 1, O'Donnell. And it was good refereeing there to see if the touch out by Jones to Randall finished in the goal. It didn't. So the play was pulled back for the penalty. And this could put Peterborough in touching distance of Wembley. It's their captain, Harrison Burrows. Peterborough born, Peterborough bred. Can he make it 2-0 here? O'Donnell against Burrows. With his left foot. Strides towards the ball and slots it into the bottom right corner. Sends O'Donnell the wrong way. And it's a half where they've had to defend. But they've defended ever so well. And through an attack, which seemed like it was going to result in nothing, has ended in a Peterborough penalty, which has been dispatched by Harrison Burrows. It's his 7th of the season. It's his 2nd in this competition. And he went nicely into the bottom right corner. Shot across his body. Even if O'Donnell went the right way, he would have struggled to have saved it as it was so far in the corner. Just not very clever from the Blackpool goalkeeper to be sliding in for that one. He never looks confident getting there first. And the pace of Ricky J. Jones allowed him to get there first and be caught by the goalkeeper to win the penalty, which was dispatched by the captain Burrows. And here at Bloomfield Road, it is Blackpool 0, Peterborough 2. Huge mountain to climb for the home side with not very long left. We need a penalty. It's 2. It is 2. And yeah, Peterborough have done a lot of defending in this second half. Not like they've conceded many big chances. They've defended well. But they just haven't been playing the football they did in the first half. It's been a little bit more route one, a bit longer, just trying to take the pressure off themselves. And they've played the perfect game so far, the away side, and they are, at the moment, deservedly into the EFL Trophy final. Yes, there's still 10 minutes plus added on time to play, so don't want to speak too soon and say they're already through, but they are in touching distance, and they are almost there. It's going to be Hayden Coulson to take this throw-in the final third for Blackpool. I think it's going to be a longer one. Nope. He'll throw it backwards instead towards the halfway line to Husband. we've pretty much won it with 10 minutes left, coming back from 2-0 with an awkward time. Yeah, 100%. I'm just trying to be a commentator and not kill the game 10 minutes early. Trying to make it a bit interesting. But yeah, it will be difficult for Blackpool. There's a ball in behind here towards Virtue on the byline. Pulls it across and it's into the hands of the goalkeeper Steer. Very well to keep that in there, Matty Virtue, but the cutback didn't find a player in orange. Instead found the goalkeeper in the black shirt and the black shorts and the black socks. Blacked out Jed Steer. Got down well there to stop the ball from going through towards Shane Lavery. But it's not all over. You never know. Blackpool get one goal back with 5 or so minutes to play, then you never know, but it is looking unlikely. It's given away. Poor touch there by Burrows. Forward for Blackpool, cut out on the edge of the box by Cipriano. Needs to be dealt with here by Peterborough, but they lose it a second time through Burrows. Lawrence Gabriel, pass forward, comes off Randall, but then he wins it back in the box, tries the cross, it deflects off Edwards, then back off Lawrence Gabriel and out for a goal kick. Unfortunate there from Lawrence Gabriel, but good defending from Edwards to block the cross originally. And his block came back off Lawrence Gabriel to win his side a goal kick. But Darren Ferguson has already won this trophy once with Peterborough 10 years ago. In 2014, it was a 3-1 win to Chesterfield. And it looks like he could be sending them back to Wembley once again. Goal kick forward out to the Peterborough left, goes over Burrows and it's sliced out of play by Lawrence Gabriel. Thrown for Peterborough 10 yards inside the Blackpool half. And it's going to be taken by the goal scorer Harrison Burrows. He's got 2 goals here this season now, scored in the 4-2 win at Bloomfield Road in late October. And now scored again tonight from the penalty spot. I think we're having a pause in play here, as I think we've had a pitch invader. I'm not sure of what team. If it's a Blackpool fan, then that just really confuses me. But I'm not sure, because you got a slight glimpse of the pitch invader at the bottom of the screen, but then obviously they take the cameras straight off the pitch invaders. So I'm going to presume, I think it's a Blackpool fan. That's where it came from, that side of the ground where the Blackpool fans are, to the right side of the stadium as we look at it. And if it is, it's just strange, just weird. Your team's losing and you decide to invade the pitch. But I think it's been dealt with rather quickly, so we are going to get back underway with this Peterborough throw-in on the far side. Down the line it goes by Burrows, headed away by Lawrence Gabriel, kept in and headed away by Virtue. Controlled here by Dembele, forward by Lawrence Gabriel. Down the line, Kouassi's going to chase this one down. Will he get there first? It'll be Lavery instead to try and take over. Heads it into space, but no one in the orange shirt's gone towards it. And Peterborough can clear with Ronnie Edwards at centre-back. It's deflected through to the halfway line. Controlled by Husband in the centre circle. And then back to the goalkeeper of O'Donnell. It's now up to the right to Pateta. Back to O'Donnell. Got 5 minutes plus added on time here. Blackpool running out of time. Goal kick goes. The goalkeeper's kick goes forward. Can't be controlled by Virtue. It's now Peterborough running forward towards goal, and that's a late challenge there on Ethron Mason Clark by Lawrence Gabriel. And that'll be a free kick for the away side, as this is a good time for them to kill the clock. Ethron Mason Clark just got the last touch away from Lawrence Gabriel as he put in the slide challenge. And didn't touch any of the ball there. And it'll be a Peterborough free kick. As they've played it out to the left now to Mason Clark in the final third. 1-on-1 with Lawrence Gabriel. Couple of step overs, playing it back to the edge of the box to Burrows, who's going to shoot it with the left foot, and it's well held by the goalkeeper O'Donnell. And he wants to send this one long. He kicks it forward, deep into the Peterborough half. Kouassi goes for the header, misses it. Played forward by Edwards. Oh, as far as Norburn. And then loses out on the right there, Dembele. And it'll be a throw-in for Peterborough. Don't know where I got Corburn from. But sometimes you just say the wrong name. It's Norburn, formerly of Peterborough. Left at the start of this season to join Blackpool. Thrown down the line by Burrows. Chested away by Mason Clark. Randall back here to Collins. Now back to the right centre-back here of number 5, Josh Knight. Katongo, 1-2 there. Cipriano, loose pass, played forward by Coulson. Can't find Kouassi up front. And it's back with Jed Steer in the Peterborough 18-yard box. Forward to Cipriano. He's got loads of time to turn forward. No real pass on, so goes back to Jed Steer. It will clip it out to the left-hand side. Controlled well by Burrows. And plays it forward down the line, looking for the run of Ricky J. Jones. Pass goes out of play. Throwing for Blackpool midway inside their own half on the far side. Taken quickly. It's now with number 3 husband, Norburn. Out to the right here to Lawrence Gabriel. Inside to Virtue, just goes behind him, keeps it away from Jones of Peterborough, and he clips Virtue. And that'll be a free kick for Blackpool, which they take quickly now. And it's on the halfway line with husband. Across to his right here to Norburn. Over the top ball, looking for Lavery. Can't head it on. Headed away by Knight instead. Coulson's touch drops straight to Randall. And now it's a switch out to the right by Mason Clark. Controlled by Cipriano. It's now with Ajiboy. Trying to go around the outside here of CJ Hamilton. Heavy touch out of play. Thrown for Blackpool on halfway. And it'll be Hayden Coulson to take. Throws it backwards here to husband. 2 minutes of the 90 to play. Lifts it forward. Again, nowhere near an orange shirt. Easy header away for Edwards. Chested down by Mason Clark. On the halfway line. Dribbles back towards his own goal here. Then turns forward. Needs to release the ball here, Mason Clark. Goes to the left centre half of Edwards. Then to the left back of Burrows. Back to Edwards. And it looks like Peterborough are going to be able to see this one out. Don't want to talk too soon, but I can't imagine there'll be loads of time added on. As Collins out to the left here. It's a beautiful ball to Burrows. Can't take on Lawrence Gabriel. Last touch of the Blackpool player. And he pulls down Burrows, but nothing given. And it's been played forward to Dembele. Really well won back there by Lawrence Gabriel. It's now Norburn. Out to the left to Coulson. Who will keep this in on the near side. In the final third. Goes back into husband. Can't quite find an advanced pass forward. So goes all the way across to Epiteta. And then back to husband in the Blackpool half. It needs to go forward. Then he goes long. Again, nowhere near an orange shirt. Easy header away there for the number 5 of Knight. Can't be helped away by Ajiboy. Throwing for Blackpool in the Peterborough half. There's just no connection between the defence and the midfield. There's no link-up play happening. They're just trying to go do it all in one pass Blackpool, and it's not working for them. Lawrence Gabriel, another high ball down the line. Nowhere near a Blackpool shirt. Wow. You just think, if it don't work a couple times, we might try something different. But they keep doing the same thing, and it's the same result. They're not even kicking it towards the Black. It's not like it's going towards the Blackpool players and Peterborough just winning the headers. Peterborough winning the headers with no one around them. Again, long ball forward. Volleyed away on the edge of the box there by Katongo. Controlled well, though, by Virtue. Norburn goes out to the left to Coulson. He's going to go for a cross. He fakes it. Then eventually crosses the far post. It's a good one towards Kouassi. Brilliant header. Really good header behind by Edwards to concede the corner, but it's better than a Kouassi header towards goal. They've been fantastic at the back for Peterborough tonight. Knight and Edwards. In the league, they haven't kept a clean sheet since 27th of January. And obviously, they've conceded a lot in the 4 losses in a row. As the ball goes in, punched away by Jed Steer. And it'll be headed back forward here by CJ Hamilton for Blackpool. Who'll get the ball back to him on the left-hand side. He crosses in, flicked away, and cleared by Ajiboy. Only as far as Karamoko Dembele, who shoved off the ball from behind. Free kick for Blackpool, about 35 yards out. Good distance out to the right for a cross. And there is 6 minutes of added on time. Sorry, I just didn't see there. But yeah, 6 minutes of added on time. They play it quickly, but then the referee pulls it back. He wasn't ready. But I don't think they want to take this free kick quickly. In fairness, Blackpool, it's a nice distance and angle for the cross off the deck. I think they are going to leave it here to the number 11 of Karamoko Dembele, who celebrates his 21st birthday on Thursday. In the ball goes, straight to the head of Edwards for Peterborough. In the centre circle now with Hamilton for Blackpool. Lifts it forward to the edge of the box. Another header away for Peterborough. But then won back by Husband. But then the ball towards Epiteta is dispossessed. Cleared up the field for Blackpool. Headed forward by Coulson. To the halfway line to Norburn. Finds Hamilton in the left back position. Clearance is blocked by Cipriano. And it's a Blackpool throw and taken quickly by Coulson. Across to Epiteta. 4.5 minutes to play. High ball forward. Can't be flicked on by Lavery. Drops to Burrows, who goes back here to Edwards on the edge of the box. Pass forward to Collins. Across to Cipriano. Then forward again to Randall. Good football from Peterborough. It's now Burrows on the left. Charging forward in the Blackpool half. He's got options left and right. Plays it to his left here. To Ricky J. Jones in the area. Cool, puts it back. Loops in the air off Epiteta. Nodded down by Mason Clark. Burrows strikes in and it deflects off the post and in. It's a trip to Wembley for Peterborough as their captains at the double. Harrison Burrows scores twice in the second half to lead his side to Wembley. There was a slice of fortune to that one. It took a deflection beyond the goalkeeper and also took a nick off the post. But Peterborough won't care. Harrison Burrows has made himself a hero. It was with Ricky J. Jones on the left-hand side. His cut back deflected into the air and it was nodded down by Mason Clark to Burrows, who kicked it into the ground on the angle, kicked it across goal towards the right-hand side of the net. And as he hit it into the ground, it took a deflection and off the post and in. It left O'Donnell in the Blackpool goal, rooted to the spot. I believe it came off the head of Lawrence Gabriel. And it helped its way into the back of the net off the post. And Peterborough are 3 up and they are on their way to Wembley as they try and win this competition for a second time. And the first time they would have won it in a 10-year period. And I think for Blackpool it's all over. We've got just less than 3 minutes of added on time. And I'm all for comeback stories. But I think this one's a little bit out of reach. And it's for Peterborough, who are 3-0 up. And it's revenge for Peterborough as well. They were beaten by Blackpool in the league at the weekend, 2-1. But they also won here 4-2 earlier on in the season. And in fairness, Blackpool had won 5 of the last 7 against Peterborough, as Karamoko Dembele puts it into the box to the far post. Last touch comes off Kouassi, and that will be a goal kick for Peterborough. Just not worked for Blackpool. I think they've been really bad. The build-up play has been non-existent. Their pressing is just... I mean, the pressing hasn't been too bad, but they've just not forced Peterborough into enough mistakes, especially first half. The way that Peterborough were playing out from the back, it was so risky. It was absolutely beautiful to watch. It was mesmerising football, but when you're playing against such a ball-playing team, especially at the back, you've got to put them into pressure situations where they may lose it, but they didn't do that enough, and Peterborough have had a well-deserved 3-0 win here, and they'll be the ones off to Wembley to try and win this trophy for a second time in their history. Both would be under Darren Ferguson, as it's in the centre circle here with Matty Virtue for Blackpool. It goes back to Husband, out to the right, still in the Blackpool half here with Lawrence Gabriel. It goes back across to Husband. He plays a long ball forward towards absolutely nobody in a Blackpool shirt. Straight to Jed Steer in the 18-yard box, who will dribble it towards the corner of the box on the left-hand side and eventually picks it up after some pressure from Shane Lavery. What a result for Peterborough, who haven't won in their last four straight defeats. Their last victory coming in the quarterfinals of this competition. As they're looking for a fourth, Ajiboy entering the box and shoots towards the far corner. Just dragged wide there by David Ajiboy, who's yet to score in this competition despite starting the previous 6. Entered the box and just dragged it wide there. But if that was on target, you'd feel like Richard O'Donnell would have no chance with that one. That's the clearance from Blackpool, headed away, then headed back forward by Coulson, controlled by CJ Hamilton. Plays it to Coulson, it's a heavy pass, he will keep this in, and plays it across to Hamilton on halfway. As we're about to hit the 6th minute of added on time. We're waiting for the referee's whistle of Lewis Smith. As the long ball forward for Blackpool, headed down, and finds Karamoko Dembele. Forward here to Lavery, edge of the box, enters the area, surrounded by blue shirts, tries to shoot, deflects towards Epiteta. He goes across the box, can't find Kouassi. We're still playing here at Bloomfield Road. Husband, 25 yards out, overhits a touch, tackled by Ajiboy, and cleared away by Peterborough, through towards Ricky J. Jones, who can't beat Lawrence Gabriel to it. Ball goes forward here to Norburn, And the referee whistle is blown. Wembley awaits for Peterborough as they beat Blackpool in the semi-final. And their next challenge in this competition will be either Bradford or Wycombe. But tonight was a perfect away display. Dominated the first half, defended strongly in the second, got their goals when they needed them the most. And that is a more than deserved final appearance for Peterborough. They've been absolutely fantastic tonight. Getting revenge on Blackpool after they beat them at the weekend by 2-1. And they've come to the home of Blackpool at Bloomfield Road and have played them off the park. Blackpool can have no complaints. They have reached the semi-finals. And it is their second semi-final defeat in this competition. Their first since 1989. And it will be Peterborough who will be in the final at Wembley. And if they face Bradford in League 2 or Wycombe in League 1, they will definitely be going in that one as favourites. They are currently in the playoff spots in League 1. They're in the final of the EFL Trophy at the moment. It's a successful season. Time will tell if on paper it will go down as a success. They still need to win the final. They still need to finish in the playoffs. But at the moment, it's looking good. And at the moment, Peterborough can celebrate. They reach the final. It's a 6-hour round trip for those players and supporters, but they're going to go home happy with something to celebrate. They've got a trip to Wembley that awaits them. And what a performance. And what a team they've got. The average age of the team is 22. And they play football with no fear. A thoroughly deserved victory in the semi-final. Since the first game of this competition where they lost to Colchester, they've won every single game since. They've took on Spurs under-21s, Cambridge, Arsenal under-21s, Crawley, Wimbledon and Blackpool. And now in the final they'll face Bradford or Wycombe. They've played here twice now this season, won 4-2 and 3-0. They know how to play here. They know how to beat this Blackpool side at Bloomfield Road, and they've done it again to reach a final of the EFL Trophy. Great commentary, cheers, mate. Thank you very much. Hope you did enjoy. If you are interested in the other semi-final between Bradford and Wycombe, that is also being commentated on this channel tomorrow, 8 o'clock kickoff. Make sure you're here for that one. But if you did enjoy, make sure you like and subscribe, as this is the end of the live commentary. And here at Bloomfield Road, Blackpool tried, but Peterborough were just simply too good. Wembley awaits them. They'll take on Bradford or Wycombe, but for tonight, Peterborough can celebrate because they've absolutely outclassed Blackpool and they reach an EFL Trophy final for the first time since 2014, 10 years ago when they won it under Darren Ferguson against Chesterfield. It's an early April trip to Wembley. Will they come out on top? They'll have to wait and see, but tonight they've come out winners. It ends here in the EFL Trophy semi-final. It's Blackpool 0, Peterborough 3.